If you want to have a real taste treat, you need to get a bag of tortilla chips and a container of Mrs. A's famous Salsa Buena. Add friends and music to share the experience, and life is wonderful. Who is Mrs. A? Mrs. A's is a local, family-owned salsa company. It was started by Ralph and Leah Aguayo quite by accident. The Aguayos have been teaching high school ceramics for over 34 years in Northern California. As Mrs. A explained,
"My husband and I have a love for teaching ceramics, music, and a special passion for food. Early in our teaching careers, we found that bringing food and music into the classroom not only kept our students happy, but also built a sense of community. Whether we planned class potlucks or sampled foods from another culture, the magical combination of food, art, and music brought everyone together."
One of the foods that Mrs. A brought to class was her homemade salsa. It was a smashing hit. Not only the students loved it, but the staff, friends, and students' families also loved the traditional salsa. They all wanted more. The students encouraged her to market their special recipe, naming it Mrs. A's famous Salsa Buena. And with the help of 2 students who designed the label, Mrs. A entered the world of commercial salsa. From the kitchen to the classroom to the major markets, Mrs. A figured it out. To be able to sell their wonderful salsa, they found several commercial kitchens where they could make Salsa Buena. Each kitchen they moved up to was overwhelmed with demand for more Salsa Buena. So they searched and found a rentable commercial kitchen in Santa Cruz that they originally shared with 4 other companies. Here they continued to make Mrs. A's famous Salsa Buena, a handmade fresh salsa with a traditional Hispanic flavor. Salsa Buena is known for its unique blended texture, with a flavor profile of the sweetness of the tomatoes, loaded with the freshness of cilantro, no onions in the recipe for a traditional taste, and the heat of the jalapenos at the end of your palate. This worked well for a while, but as their success grew, the ability to work in the crowded kitchen became very difficult. They searched long and hard for 2 years and discovered a new space, again in Santa Cruz, where they could develop their own kitchen. Let's let Mrs. A guide you through Salsa Buena's new facility.
We're at Mrs. A's famous Salsa Buena's new commercial kitchen site. This is the reception area where we are going to have this all drywalled. And what's going to happen is we're going to have it all drywalled, and we're going to have pictures of Mrs. A's Salsa Buena family, process, all of the boards. So basically, this is our shipping and receiving area. This is our production area, wrapping around the corner to an employee area and a reception lounge.
Mrs. A is the face of the company. Her passion shines bright and comes through in every aspect of her life. Her personal business plan includes 5 new customers a day, a plan she executes daily and often exceeds. She will drive around town with a cooler of Salsa Buena, passing out samples to whomever she meets. While telling the salsa story, her face shines, some say like the sun design in the middle of the label. The new kitchen will allow Mrs. A's famous Salsa Buena to expand their clients from a growing list of students, families, and friends, both old and new, as well as positioning Salsa Buena at high-end markets throughout Northern California and Oregon. The money raised with your help will be used to purchase a 10 by 15-foot walk-in cooler with a 54-inch pallet-sized door, larger kettles to mix the salsa in, and longer burr mixers to blend the salsa. Part of the build-out includes 2 and 3 compartment stainless steel sinks and stainless steel work tables. Oh, and Mrs. A really needs a pallet mover. We believe that the strengths of Mrs. A's famous Salsa Buena are the high quality and taste of Salsa Buena, the story of how the business got started and its amazing growth, our willingness to work hard, and the passion we have for the business. Help Mrs. A's famous Salsa Buena grow our dream, a thriving business sustained by family, food, and the local community. Your support will help us expand. Help us build our family business, finishing our new commercial kitchen. Thank you.